Staying with elections, social media firm Facebook says it is taking steps to protect the elections in Ghana this December from manipulation by persons seeking to take advantage of its platforms to misinform the electorate. The measures, it is believed, are aimed at preventing what happened in the 2016 US election, which many believe was manipulated in favor of one of the candidates. Joining me with details of how Facebook intends to protect Ghana's election from manipulation is Ikuya Jeche, Facebook's Public Policy Manager, Africa Elections. Thank you very much, Ikuya. Now, this move by Facebook to protect the elections in Ghana from interference, I believe, has to do with accusations voters were manipulated by persons using the Facebook platform in the 2016 US election. How was that possible in the first place?
Thank you so much for allowing me to join you today. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what we're doing about the elections this time around. We've learned a lot from what happened in 2016, and a lot has changed since then in regards to how we think about elections and how we prepare for them as a company. I think one big example that is important to note is that we're thinking a lot about how to better combat misinformation and false news. So we're working really hard to fight the spread of misinformation because we want people to see accurate information on Facebook and Instagram. And we want to make sure that people know that it's against our community standards to, for example, share misinformation that could lead to real-world harm or physical harm to people. We also remove misinformation that could prevent people from voting, such as false news relating to the dates, location, time, or voting methods.
All right.
Yeah,
okay. So you're talking about the misinformation, people putting out wrong dates and all that. What are some of the other measures that you're putting in place, and how does that stop or minimize the interference?
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention, though, just for clarification purposes on the misinformation standard. We work with over 70 independent fact checkers. In Ghana, for example, we work with Dubawa, because they help us better understand the accuracy of content that is shared on Facebook and Instagram. And we also warn people before they share any information that was rated false, just so they know that, and nobody wants to be the source of false information. And lastly, I think I wanted to call out that people should look out for both online campaigns and radio campaigns with educational information about how you can better spot false news. And we call them 3 questions to help stamp out false news. But in regards to other work that we're doing is we've focused heavily on transparency of political advertising. So as of August, in Ghana specifically, we have rolled out our political ads transparency tools. And what that basically means that anyone in Ghana who wants to run a political ad now has to go through a verification process. They have to prove who they are, and they have to prove that they live in Ghana. And also we run additional checks to ensure that they comply with our policies. That's really important. So you now have unprecedented transparency when it comes to political advertisement, more so than you have on billboards or newspapers. People can see that there's a paid by disclaimer, so everyone will know. You can even look in our ads library for up to 7 years, who's been spending money, who has been seeing the ads running on Facebook. We also do a lot about fighting interference. Fake accounts is one aspect where the company has done a lot of work and invested quite a bit to make sure that we disable them. So as a concrete example, between April and June of this year, we disabled over 1.5 billion fake accounts globally. And if you compare that to 2 years ago, that's 800 million more than in 2018. So you can see that we're making progress. And we've also invested very heavily into people, right? So now we have over 35,000 people alone at Facebook working on safety and security to sort of better understand things like coordinated inauthentic behavior. Is there any sort of manipulation going on of the public debate? And making sure that these type of networks come down ahead of major elections such as the one in Ghana.
All right, now how about WhatsApp, which is also owned by Facebook, has a lot of disinformation or misinformation that's also circulated on that platform. Are there any WhatsApp specific interventions?
That's an excellent question, and we know how popular WhatsApp is in Ghana. WhatsApp has made some fundamental changes to their product to address the issue of virality and how to better reduce the spread of misinformation and any kind of misinformation that can amplify and maybe exacerbate any type of conflict or violence. So number one, WhatsApp has banned mass messaging. The company has used machine learning to identify and ban accounts that have this sort of behavior. And to give you a bit of a sense of how many accounts we're talking about, the company has banned around 2 million accounts a month globally for this type of mass messaging abuse. You will also have seen, if you used WhatsApp recently, that the company is reducing the number of people you can forward a message to just 5 chats at once. And even you might have seen the 2 errors, which indicate highly forwarded messages as well, where you can only forward that type of message to only one person. We have seen that this resulted in a 70% reduction in the number of highly forwarded messages on WhatsApp. We're extending the same to Messenger and have recently announced this publicly. So these are sort of ways that we can address and slow down the spread of viral misinformation and any type of harmful content that has a potential to hurt people or interfere with the election.
All right, so you talk about what you've done to stop the forwarding of messages or mass forwarding of messages, but it still means that some messages can still be forwarded. Are you in a position to control misinformation that's being shared? Because you tend to get a lot of that.
I think there is no silver bullet when it comes to misinformation, but I can tell you that the company is not only thinking about this issue, but thinking about also the fact that there's also an important component about education, because there's only so much that we can do, because WhatsApp is very different than, for example, Facebook. And WhatsApp messages are end-to-end encrypted. So even the company doesn't have any access to the messages that are being shared. So I think it's important for people to stop and ask themselves, who has shared this information? Why they're sharing it? How does it make me feel? And if you feel passionate about it or you feel very angry about it, you should think before you share it, because you probably have to think about the fact that somebody had an idea or some sort of purpose behind sharing this type of information. So I think it's a multi-pronged approach where we all have to play our part to make sure that we are not the source of misinformation. We don't spread it to our family and friends. We educate ourselves and go to third-party fact checkers to find out the truth. And also that we use the platforms wisely, especially in the lead up to the election.
How much cooperation are you getting from government in all of this?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Around the world, we work with governments and we focus on education. And especially in the election context, we focus on promoting civic engagement. So when we work with civic actors, such as, for example, the Electoral Commission and civil society organizations, we really want to think about, and we train them and answer their questions about how Facebook can be used as a positive tool for civic engagement. You know that in Ghana, we have a lot of young people who've never voted before. So we want to make sure they have all the accurate information they need in order to go in and get involved in their election. And also, what can they find out to keep themselves safe online while they engage on our platforms? In addition, we have teams that conduct virtual trainings on the ads enforcement policy I just referred to earlier, so they better understand how to use those tools, and also how to just civically engage with the audience. So political parties oftentimes want to know how they can better use the tools, and we provide free training in a very transparent and nonpartisan way, so people know how to best engage online.
All right. Now, which other agencies or bodies are you collaborating with? I know that you're doing some work with the media, but apart from the media, which other agencies?
Yeah, I think you were at our recent media roundtable, where we shared some of the recent news of the work that we're doing to support elections in Africa. But beyond media, as key stakeholders, we continue to work with NGOs and CSOs, including here in Ghana, to better understand the challenges, to better understand how we can tackle them more effectively. And this work continues to be instrumental because local partners give us feedback on what are we doing well, but also what are we not doing well, and how can we improve our policies or programs going forward.
All right. And you indicated that we should expect some radio ads as well, talking about the campaign against misinformation. Now, what should the public or the regular Facebook user know about this initiative, and what is expected of them?
Another great question. I would love the public to know that Facebook is committed to helping fight the spread of false news on our platform. I also would love people to sort of think about, especially when they hear our on radio campaigns or as well as the online campaigns we're running, I want them to really think before they share information. People should feel empowered to decide for themselves what they read, what they trust, and what they share by asking 3 questions. Where is it from? What is it missing? And how do I feel? I also want people to report when they see any unwanted or false information to Facebook. Reporting, I always need to emphasize this because not enough people in Ghana report. It is completely confidential and it can be done in 3 very simple steps. So there's really nothing holding you back from letting us know if you come across any content that you think shouldn't be there and that's violating our community standards. And then take a second to inspire your family and friends to do the same thing. Ask yourself, where is it from? What is missing? And how does it make you feel?
All right, thank you very much, Ekia. But before you go, the bit about you not getting enough people reporting from Ghana, could it probably just be that we don't like snitching?
It is not snitching. I think the reality is that we all have to play a big part and role in keeping our community safe. That's happening offline as well as online. So I hope the next time we talk, you will tell me that you also confidentially reported something so we can take down some bad content and so that your family and friends don't have to see it.
Well, I get to report all the time.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Ekia Ijache. Ekia Ijache is Facebook's public policy manager on Africa elections.